Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Today I'm out on the Tiger Sport 660 and I thought I would do a quick video on the pannier kit that I have installed on here. Now I installed it a few weeks ago now at this point, but I wanted to give my thoughts and impressions on it. I do have some install footage that I'd like to share with you so that if you're thinking about installing this kit, you might be able to follow along with the directions if there's any of the parts that are a little bit confusing. And the instructions are a little bit confusing at some points. So hopefully my experience will help some of you guys out that are thinking about putting these bags on here.
I just received my panniers for the Tiger Sport 660 and I want to open up the box, take a look at these, make sure that they arrived okay. So I'm not sure if they were supposed to ship them like this. I think this is how they show up at the dealership, and I was expecting them to pack these a little bit more securely to ship them across the US to get to me, but hopefully they're in good condition and they're not damaged at all. The box looks like it's in pretty bad shape. Yeah, the pannier poked through the box here, so hopefully it's not damaged in any way. Everything looks okay. I believe they made it without any damage. They just have a little dust on here because of the static from the packaging that was on here. This is the one that had poked through the side, and it looks to be in good condition, so I think I'm okay. The panniers come with no locks in them, but I can install the ones that came with the bike so that it will match the ignition key. This is one of the lock cylinders that comes with the bike. So according to the directions, it's supposed to be keyed to only fit in one way. This seems like the way to go. I was having some trouble with the other cylinder, so I decided to try it with the key in, and that seemed to work. Just turn it around until you find the spot where it fits in with the key. There it goes. So now that the key cylinder has been installed, I can finally get in here to see what accessories are included. And then grab this and pull it straight up. Mounting hardware kit. And then the brackets to go on the bike are probably in that box. So these are the screws included in the mounting bracket kit. And in the box here are the actual brackets that hook onto the bike. These are little rubber pads that go on the ends. And these are the brackets that attach to the rear foot pegs. All right, the first step to assembly is to take this part, which is called the third mount, and we're going to be attaching the rubber bumper piece on top of that. So they just push into place. All right, just to show you ahead of time, this is the way this attaches here. So this is the right side mount. And there's going to be one screw that faces towards the bike, and you're going to feed it through this little hole here, but then these other two holes here are going to be screwed in from the reverse side. So there are actually two threaded holes on the opposite side of this footrest, and I'll show you the other side so that you can see. So just to get a look at it, that is the left side of the bike, the rear foot peg on the left side of the bike. So you can see there's 2 threaded screw holes on the back. For the first part of this install, we're gonna need one of these, and one of these. All right, I put this little washer on this screw here and just fed that through the front. Now this flange sleeve goes on the back, but it goes through here so that you can adjust it. It'll slide back and forth a little bit, so you can adjust the position of this to match up with the panniers when they're installed. But basically, this part goes behind here on the end of this screw. When you have it put together here, it's gonna look like that. Next up, we're gonna need 2 of these larger bolts with the washer and the larger flange sleeve. I'll just show you on this one. It goes on the reverse side, but again, you want these to be able to slide through. And that goes into the other side and attaches to the back side of the foot peg. So the final bolts here are this last washer, and then there's a locking nut that goes on the back of this bolt right here. I'm just putting these loosely in place for now. Here you can see the flange sleeve in the middle. It also acts like a spacer. Here you can see the back of the bracket, how the screws are set up. Right now I have this loose so that I can adjust it after I put the pannier on here and see where it sits at. This needs to fit nicely into the bottom mount on the pannier, so need to leave this a little bit loose for now. When I do tighten these up, this is going to be tightened to 10 Newton meters, and the back 2 bolts here are going to be tightened to 22. So these are the pannier mounts on the tail. What you want to do when you're test feeding this is you want to put the pannier in place, but you want to slide it back as far as it'll go to the rear, and that's how you tell your adjustment point for this third mount down here. You want to have a 2 to 3 millimeter gap between this part and the bottom bracket on the pannier. I'll show you in a second. So to figure out where the third mount should be situated at, you have to put the pannier in place, but you want to slide it into the little tail hooks over here and push it back towards the back of the bike as much as possible. So you're going to have to support it though, because it'll fall off if you don't hold it. Looking from the top down, you want about 2 to 3 millimeters between the pannier and the mount. After making my adjustments, this is what the third mount looks like when the pannier is attached. Then finally, you want to lock this into place.
So these locks on here are ignition key matched. These actual lock cylinders come with the bike. I got 3 extras, one for each of the panniers, and then a third for a optional top box if I decide to install one of those. So it's nice. You know, you just pop the cylinder right into here and it's ready to go. You don't have to configure any of the little tumblers or pins or anything else that come on this little barrel lock. There is a matching panel kit that you can get to install on the top here. You can get it to match the color of the bike. I decided not to get those at this point. I wanted to just use them in their standard black color for now. I think these things look great. It still keeps the sporty look of the bike. And it gives you just enough storage to carry stuff for commuting or for light touring purposes. But if you were going to do light touring, I would probably recommend getting a third optional storage, you know, like the top case or some kind of bag or something that you can strap to the back of the bike here. like a roll bag or something like that, or even a backpack. Talking about storage, let's go ahead and open one of these up. Now if you do unlock this, the key does not seem to come out while it's in the open position, so just keep that in mind. You will need to pull the ignition key out to open these up, so you won't be able to just jump off the bike while it's running and come in and grab something out of here. So looking at the inside here, you have these little strap pieces. These parts up here don't seem to come off. They're permanently attached, but the center part here, you can kind of like disconnect these things and pack some of your stuff in here, and then reconnect this to hold it in place so that when you open these up, the stuff you have in here doesn't fall out. These are 57 liters combined, and that's the equivalent of 15 US gallons. They claim that you can fit a extra large helmet in here, but I was unsuccessful. I have 3 different helmets in that size that I was trying to fit in here, each in every direction, and I could not get it in there. One of them was really close, but I probably would have scratched it up on like one of the side pieces of plastic over here or something like that, and I wasn't willing to risk screwing it up. So your mileage may vary on that depending on the size of the helmet and the style of the helmet. You may be able to get one in here, you may not be able to, so just FYI on that one. The quality on here seems okay for the price. They're a little bit bendy. I wouldn't put too much weight on here, and they do have a 5 kilogram or 11 pound max load in here, so I would highly recommend following those instructions and not overloading these, because I don't think these hinges would be able to hold up to that weight. Triumph also has some fully waterproof roll bags that you can get that match these cases. I do have some on order. I was hoping to get them in for this video review, and unfortunately they're back ordered right now. So there is a little bit of weather stripping on here, but I would probably go for the waterproof bags. Those would also make it easier to just open this up, grab your bag, and go, and not have to dig your stuff out of here and put it into another bag or something to like carry where you're going. So looking here to make sure that this is in the locked position, there is some orange viewable right now. That means it's not in the locked position, but then as you close this, that orange disappears, so you know it's sealed. So to remove the case, you would lift up this portion here while it's in the unlocked position, and you can see that that back piece disengages from the tail, allowing you to slide the case off the back of the bike. Now it is held in place by the third mount here, which I will show in the install video how to install this. But once it's in the unlocked position, all you do is grab this and slide it backwards, pull it right off. Reinstalling the cases is just as easy. Here's the little slots in the tailpiece, and you just match those up with these parts on the back of the cases. Just like that. And then make sure your third mount lines up with this part on the bottom of the case, and slide it forward. Pop this piece down until the orange goes away, and then test it to make sure that it does not come loose, and you are ready to go. Overall, I've been really impressed with these panniers so far, and at this point I highly recommend them. So if you liked the video, please click that like button, and I will see you guys on the next one.